I bought another dodgy PC off of eBay.
But first, what's this? A Dawid Does Tech Stuff Minecraft server powered by our friends at Linode? Which we all know is the best Linux-based cloud computing and web hosting service. And aside from providing amazing Minecraft servers, Linode offers a whole host of Linuxy services. Services like node balancers, cloud computing, database management, and even Kubernetes, just to name a few. If this sounds good to you, sign up to Linode using the link in the description below for a 60-day $100 credit. Thank you Linode for sponsoring today's video.
Now, in all fairness, this system is a lot less dodgy than the previous broken Alienware I bought off of eBay. But again, the guy who promised to sell me random royal family member pubes in an alley behind a Denny's was a bit less dodgy than that PC. Anyway, so this is an NZXT BLD pre-built that's been refurbished by some rando on eBay. So let's have a look at what kind of work Randy did for us today. Now at this point, I still have no idea whether this isn't just a case in a box, so yeah, hopefully Randy didn't screw us. Oh, that's not a great sign. Nice, there's clearly stuff in this system, so that's good. Okay, now on first impressions, it looks a little bit scruffy. Although the side panel has been left unpeeled, so the previous owner was clearly a weirdo. Or Randy re-peeled it, but is that a thing you can do? I don't know. Now because it's an NZXT pre-built, it comes in this lovely NZXT H510 Flow case. We've got a ventilated panel on the front, which makes it a rarefied breed compared to the standard pre-built autoerotic asphyxiation cases. There's some front I/O. A tempered glass side panel that we're even gonna get to peel, very exciting. As you can see inside, there's also some of the foamy stuff which makes for safe shipping, so that's good to see inside. And then on the back, we've got not the best rear I/O, but it's usable. We've got enough USB ports and Wi-Fi and stuff. Under that, the graphics card has some ports, next to which there looks to be impact damage, which kind of makes it look like the system was dropped on its booty at some point. Maybe that's why Randy had to get involved. The power supply does look interesting. Is that like a bracket that is holding an SFF power supply into place? We're gonna have to investigate that a bit later. And then finally, according to this sticker, the system was manufactured, and by that I'm assuming they mean assembled halfway through last year. So it's a pretty young system. Anyway, let's open it up and have a look inside. Oh, there is a lot of plastic stuffed in the front there. Really stuck. Oh, that felt destructive. Now the first thing I notice about the inside is that the graphics card's power isn't plugged in, but that's probably because they couldn't get it in with the foam, I'm guessing. But wait a minute, that's an RTX 3060 Ti. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay for one of those. Or did I? Let me go check the listing quickly. It turns out I didn't. I paid $580 for a system that was meant to have a GTX 1050 Ti in it, and I got an RTX 3060 Ti instead. I guess we're gonna have to find out what CPU we got a bit later, but it seems like Randy made a bit of a whoopsie. Now, I did message Randy telling them about the mix-up, but Randy hasn't responded to me yet, so we're gonna have to wait till the end of the video to see if Randy eventually gets back to me. Now, aside from our lottery win of a graphics card, we also have some dual channel RAM in here. Very nice. And next to that, we've even got a CPU cooler that you wouldn't be embarrassed to whip out at a public shower. Although it is curved a bit funny. There's also a 1TB SSD in there. All in all, aside from a bit of skewness, it's a decent looking system. But it's hard to complain about something so much better endowed than you paid for. But anyway, I am very curious what all of this is. I'm assuming that the, GPU power is part of it, but let's have a look. Oh, it's just like the standard PC accessory crap. Cool. Now, before I plug the graphics card back in, I do want to see what power supply we got with this bad boy. Oh, the rear cable management does look pretty nice. We've got some stuff routed in places, very good. And considering that this is an NZXT H510, we've also got nice features and stuff on the back. Now the power supply is in fact a small form factor power supply. You can see it's all little and cute in there. And it is an S650, which from the sticker on the top is a 80 plus gold rated power supply. Now I think it's a bit weird that there's a small form factor power supply in this not a small form factor PC, but I'm not going to discriminate because of its size. I'm sure it'll get the job done. So let's turn it on and see what the Windows situation is like. Your account has been disabled. Please see your system administrator. Okay, bit of a weird start, but restarting the system got me access to Windows. Oh, I was then greeted with a system preparation tool prompt, which I easily handled with my massive expertise. Can I just tell it to go away? We are in, and it just seems like it's a blank Windows install, which is nice. In terms of VD, it's just Windows. So that's good. That's nice. We don't even have a funky background. Hey, CPU-wise, we got an 11400F, which is a massive upgrade over the pathetic 9100F we paid for. Yeah, Randy did kind of screw this up, didn't he? Oh no, Randy, our RAM hasn't been set to its native 3200 MHz speed. And considering that the 11400F I don't think is the greatest pairing with the 3060 Ti at 1080p, and that paired with slow RAM speeds means we may be seeing some bottlenecking action while gaming. On that note, let's try and do some gaming on our incorrect little system. We have everything cranked at 1080p on GTA 5, and we're getting solidly over 120 frames per second, which you'd kind of expect. Although, if you look at the, if you look at the GPU utilization, there's not a whole lot going on. Oh! That was quite the car accident. So later in the video, I will set the RAM at its rated speed and see how much that helps the performance. And I think it should make a reasonable difference considering the GPU. But other than that, other than like the actual utilization, it's running pretty well. Like the frame rate's stable. The temperatures are very good with that ventilated front panel. And obviously the fact that it's 16 degrees Celsius in here helps. But yeah, it's running well. I've spent enough time playing Battlefield 5 for the system to get nice and toasty, and at 1080p high settings, the GPU is giving us pretty high utilization, so I don't think the CPU is holding us back too much, but again, we'll test the RAM configuration and so on later on. The temperatures are very good. The system is a little noisy, but because we've got so much temperature headroom, we could play around with the fan speeds and stuff to quiet it down a little bit. Generally, the performance is insane. I mean, it has a 3060 Ti in it, so of course it's gonna slay here. Ha ha ha! Many people. Cyberpunk is cooking with gas. 1080p high, and we're almost getting 100 frames per second without DLSS or other things of that nature. Yeah, I mean, it just runs well. Like, I don't really know what else of interest to say here. So with that, let's set the RAM to its rated frequency and see how much more performance we get. Now, in terms of multiplayer, the frame rate seems maybe a little bit better, but it could be map related. Either way, with the RAM change, we are still seeing situations where the GPU isn't fully being utilized. But either way, temperature-wise, we haven't gained any real significant temperature, despite the fact that we seem to be getting more performance out of the system. So that's good. But anyway, with that, let's have a look at the benchmarks and see what they say.
Yeah, that made a bit of a difference, but not nearly as big a difference as going from the 1050 Ti we were meant to get to an RTX 3060 Ti. And just to be sure about that, I dropped the 1050 Ti into the system, and with Cyberpunk running at the same settings as before, I think it may be running a bit worse. And this was with a much less geriatric CPU than we were meant to get. Actually, on the note of Randy, it's been a couple of days since I messaged them about their little whoopsie, and I still haven't heard back from Randy. I'll update you with a comment down below if I hear anything back. And with that, I guess my takeaway from today's video is if you buy enough crap on the internet, eventually you'll luck out and buy something actually better than you were expecting. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing or watching another one. A suggestion will pop up in a second. And until the next video, bye bye.